Clear the north. Wait. Oh, I can totally do this. Check this out. That didn't happen. None of you guys saw that.
Okay. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Hopefully that'll do it. Sorry, Nightbot won, guys. That's not what was supposed to happen. There you go. Here's some stars. Make up for it. Kantan. Yay! Oh, true. Nightbot does need that cash. Yeah, he needs the ball. Yeah. Whoa! Look at that vertical. My guy can jump. All right, where were we? Oh, I gotta switch the game category. Sweet, there we go. Okay. We were examining? No. We were trying to find out what to do. Found on the crime scene, Payne's list. Button. Where else can we go? Can we go? Yeah, here. She just took a big dive in quality. Took a deep, big leap in quality. Thank you. I thought you meant like the literal quality of it. not because we were playing Ace Attorney.
The Treasure Crane exhibit is all ruined now. Maya! I'm sorry, it's just so sad. This is our big chance for everyone to learn about spirit channeling.
Maybe I can cheer her up somehow. Well, now that we're back, we got the Sacred Urn back. Maybe they can reopen it?
Really?
Sure! Maybe we can label it the Urn of Master Desires.
Lucy! Oh my god! You're alive! How are you, Lucy?
Because you and the game are the same person. Iconic! Oh my god, guys. Today's a good day. Lucy has blessed us with her presence. This is amazing.
That would probably attract a lot of attention.
Whoa! 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 That's brilliant, Nick. We could clean up and be filthy rich. Woohoo!
Wow, that was surprisingly easy.
I just casually disappear off the face of the earth for a couple months at a time. It happens, you know. We're prepared for it. It's sad, but like, you know, we get ready. We're like, okay, we have to go into hibernation mode from Lucy, but like, we love when you come back. The 1,000-year slumber. How's your car, by the way? Is it all fixed up? No, not at all, Lucy. You're all terrific mods. Maybe we go to the basement? I only return for the reaction I get when I come back. You're like, yeah, all right. I'm not getting the serotonin from this channel anymore. I gotta give it a break, so when I come back, I'll get that rush, you know? I get it.
Oh, it's you, Mr. Wright. Miss Andrews, what's she still hanging around down here for?
So, how's it going? What about the Sacred Urn?
The urn? Oh, that. It's been taken care of already.
What do you mean, oh, that?
Taken care of?
Do you mean it's been found? Yes! It was brought in during the trial today.
Wow.
Really?
You really are the greatest, Mr. Wright.
That car was written off. I got, oh, nice, Lucy. Hell yeah. Hell yeah to new cars. Yeah, that's amazing. Do you like this one better? Oh, also, Lucy, are you free on Thursday? We're having a Discord night. We're having a community Discord night. We're gonna have a voice chat and we're gonna play Gartic Phone. New car. Get out me car. Vroom vroom.
Mr. Wright had nothing to do with it. It was Master Mask's wife that found it.
Well, anyway, I'm so relieved. I just heard all about it on the news. So that detective was actually the thief all along. It looks that way right now. It's my fault. I'm the one who ended up hiring Master Mask to guard the treasures. Don't blame yourself. You were just doing your job.
Hey, Nick, if she wants to apologize, you should let her. So, when was it that you hired Detective Atney again?
About 20 days ago.
You should be? Oh, yay! No pressure at all, Lucy, if you can't make it, but we'd love to have you there. Cars are almost as awesome as... Oh my god, streamer. Look, if you love Five Nights at Freddy's so much, why don't you go and marry it? How is Andrews twisting a hardcover book in her hand? Oh my god, Ace, you're right. Also, yes, Glem's right. It's because she's a robot. She has massive, insane grip strength. Like, don't mess with her. She is a robot.
That was about 10 days ago. So, he sent a calling card to the very place he was hired to guard.
I guess that's it then. Detective Atney must have really wanted the Sacred Urn after all.
I would, but our love is forbidden. What do you mean it's forbidden?
I guess so.
What? So Master Mask murdered someone as well?
Well, that's how things look right now.
Yes, but I thought that he was stealing the urn at the time.
Well, we're talking about a criminal mastermind, so anything is possible.
Coco! How's it going? Ace? Bonk. Get out of here. No. Absolutely not. Gay marriage isn't legal here. Yeah, I guess you do have a point, stream, man. It's like, you can make it work, man. You might have to go somewhere else, but you can make it work. I believe in you. If your love is true, and you know it's real, it'll work out. Glurm. Ew. Lucy, you might as well be new. I'm kidding. Guys, don't mind Lucy. She's new.
Nick, let's get down to business already. Let's get down to business to find the urn.
That's what I was thinking. Great minds, Lucy. Great minds.
On the night of the theft, did you notice anything suspicious about Detective Atney?
No, I couldn't have. After all, he was hidden the entire time. I never even caught a glimpse of him. He claims that the way he always operates.
That's just what he says so he can have an alibi while he commits the thefts.
Okay, but like, it can't... I know it's probably him. But if you look at the picture, it can't be. Look how big his nose is. It doesn't fit under that mask. It doesn't make sense. You know? Like, we have a picture of the mask from the side point of view. Look at that. There's no nose slot. Imagine not knowing who Lucy is. The backbone of this channel. yeah. Teresa and Lucy and Geeky, they're like the 3 OGs, man. The 3 big ones. Anything sus about this at me? Yeah, literally everything. You're so right, Ace. Like, I don't even know if he's actually guilty. He's just sus no matter what. I am same, Lucy. Rest in pieces, Geeky. We do miss him so much. Can I be the left big toe of the channel? It's all yours, streamer. You you wear that token, that label for pride.
That's just what he says so he can have an alibi while he commits the thefts himself.
Yeah, he was caught in the crime scene. A photo dressed up as a masked man pretty well.
For a welding exam, I have to. Ooh, welding exam. Yeah, no worries, Coco. Have fun. I mean, if you will have fun. I don't know if studying for an exam is fun, but good luck, Coco. The whole time I've been around has just been Lucy showing up once in a blue moon, everyone freaking out at me, wondering if I should pretend I'm excited too. No, yeah, just play along, Coffee Cup. Just play along. Don't worry. That's so fun. It's a wedding exam. Coco's in wedding school. Wedding dresses for. Oh, absolutely. Did you change career paths? Are you in event planning now? Planning weddings must be the most stressful job just because you deal with so many people who are high maintenance. Like, no, my wedding has to be perfect or I'll literally die, you know? I could not deal with that at all. Just hearing people complain about not getting their dresses on time from Glem's job. Like, oh my god. Yeah, right, Glenn? Exactly. Like, imagine being like the caterer of the entire wedding. That would be hell on earth. I feel like welding would be an awesome job. You could make the Iron Man suit, you know? That's the only important thing you could make with it, but you could make it.
I'm so glad that you got your Sacred Urn back. Yes, but there's still something that bothers me about it. Well, what is it? I'm not exactly sure, but somehow the urn that came back seems different. Really?
Hey, there's pink paint on it, you doofus.
You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Miss Andrews?
No, I don't know anything. Why would I?
Damn, yeah, look at that hardcover book she's just crunching into a circle. Oh, so true, Coffee Cups. You should ask your boss if he'll cover the price for you to go to school for it so that you can apply those skills for the job. That could work. People who work in wedding stuff have my respect for real. Seriously. They have nerves of they are truly the unbreakable people. CHC wedding team. Only if we plan the whole thing, we plan the whole weddings. Like, it's one of those things where, like, you sign up for it and you have no idea what you're getting. We will plan everything, but you don't have any say in it. It's just, it's a wedding Kinder Egg. You don't know what you're gonna get. That would be fun. Is this for me to find? Yes, streamer. We're gonna get you guys married. I would obviously be, from my award-winning idea, I would obviously be the preacher, the priest, so I could get people married in either Toad voice or Sonic voice. Their choice. It's a coin flip, really, you know? There was a comedian I watched who mentioned her experiencing talking to brides-to-be and trying to give her tips from her experience in her wedding so that they don't deal with everything and that goes wrong. Bride-to-bees always act like they'll be different and not have issues and stick their nose up against any form of advice. Oh, always. Oh, like, oh yeah, don't worry, I won't be high maintenance. I'll be different. No, it's not a really big deal. What do you mean you can't get slightly more red roses? I'm throwing the wedding. Toad voice 1000%. Yeah, Lucy. I'm gonna hold you to that. If you and Joe ever get married, you hit me up. I would 100% get. I would do that.
Do you, Lucy of the ColeHillChills, say yes to the dress?
That'd be amazing. That'd be 10 out of 10. Stop. I want that to happen now, Lucy. If I find out you're getting married and I'm not personally invited, I will be so heartbroken. You don't even know. You don't. I will fly to whatever country you need me to be, Lucy. But if you don't invite me, I'll be devastated. Just so you know. It's the ball's in your court now. It's up to you. I can dress normally. Or I could dress as a toad. Your choice completely. But I'll leave that as a choice for you, you know? Especially society's fault. Imagine being told your whole life your wedding day would be the best day of your life. I'd be tweaking out too. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. It's a lot of pressure. It's kind of like prom. Oh my god, like they hype it up so much in TV shows and movies. Like, prom is the day where like your dreams come true and your true love will like be with you forever. No, prom sucks. I wish I didn't spend as much money as I did on it. Be quiet. You shouted the line ages ago. No need to spit on it. It's great. Wait, what are you talking about? Streamer. Oh, confuse everyone up as Sonic would do Toad voice. Oh my god. Could you imagine? I'm dressed as like in a full-on Sonic the Hedgehog costume.
Do you, Lucy KB?
That would be the biggest twist. Everyone would literally have an audible from the audience. It'd be amazing. The Toad wedding vows. What about the Toad wedding vows? They're amazing. Where Glenn is a caterer, but it's just different types of Oreos. Oh my god. Every meal is like made of Oreos. The cake is Oreos. Like the main course is Oreos. That'd be incredible. 10 out of 10 wedding. Toast. Yeah, sorry. No. A toast wedding. You're right. Everything is toast themed. It's just a bunch of different breads that are toasted. The cake is just like a giant loaf of bread that's been toasted. My brother and sister-in-law's wedding was small. Her father had $40,000 put aside for his daughter's wedding. Wait. What do you mean small? That's twice my student loan. What? What? Imagine having that much money and then spending that much money just on one day. On one day to say I do and not have a Toad impressionist there. SMH my head. Honestly. Instead of icing on the cake, it's hummus. No, they should not be that expensive. Oh my god. Just give them the money and they can put a down payment. Yeah! Seriously. I understand honeymoons can be a little pricey because, like, you know, you want to travel places and celebrate. But the wedding itself, there's no need for that much money. Jesus. Guys, we're in the wrong industry. We really need to get into the CHC wedding planning business. This is how we're getting the real money. Oh my god. He was cool about it. He said, "This is what I put aside for your wedding. You get it all and can spend as much on the actual wedding as you want and keep the rest. Really? Bruh. She did not spend 40,000. Okay, good. I'm glad they didn't use all the all the money. That would have upset me. Let's rebrand ColeWeddingChills. I love it. CWC. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. 2 of my cousins had a combo wedding. A combo wedding? Hi, I'll take the wedding combo, please, with an extra side of fries. Getting married at the same time in the same church. Quite smart as it. That is true. That is true. And I was bridesmaid for one of them. I was then forced to take a picture with one of my cousin's new in-laws who I'd never met before. Oh, beautiful, Coco. So wait, did they have like did they take turns? Like one couple will get married and the next one, or was it like both in the same go? You know, like there were 2 guys at front, 2 girls walking down the row, and then the manager, the priest was like, "All right, you may now like, do you do this and do you do this?" You know, was it like both at the same time? I saw a wedding place to rent, and they include everything, and it was like 5,000 for beach wedding in the Bahamas. Like, jeez, that's significantly cheaper. Bridesmaids, I can't English. If I had 40K, it would go straight to G Fuel. Oh my God, streamer. Bleh, gamer fuel. This wedding is brought to you by G Fuel. G Fuel gives you energy to get through your boring family wedding. There's like posters of a G Fuel. You know, like in hockey rinks or places, the boards have like advertisements on the wedding. There's like posters on the wall, like G Fuel and stuff. When it was in NYC, there was, oh, that alone, yeah, would up the price tenfold. Oh my God. Each wedding took up one side of the church. The priest married them both basic at the same time, side by side. Aww, that's cute. I like that. That's cute. I'd love to watch that. Can't say I'd want to plan it or be part of it, you know? If I had 40K, it would go to buy Genie more swords. Wait, what do you mean more swords? Genie, how many swords do you have? Genie, you have swords? I didn't think you could get cooler. Where show pictures of swords, please. Extreme wedding tournament sponsored by Monster Energy. A wedding tournament. You have to get through the weddings. Like you bet your money on which couple will actually go the entire way and get married. I can probably find a picture if I have access to pics. Aw, yeah, please do, Coco. Oh wait, matching swords? Oh. Oh, you have matching swords? Please send pictures. That's so cool. I buy a tiny house, never worry about that again. Oh my God, same coffee cups. I would pay off my student loan and then I would buy a van to live in and then done. The new gambling event. And be the person who works at Renaissance fairs. Being all like, wait, don't most people have a sword? I do have a sword. It's not sharp or anything. When I was, because growing up, I was in dance lessons, and at one point, my teacher got a real sword for me to use. Like, it was, most people have like plastic swords in dances and stuff, but she was putting on like the Three Musketeers or something. I forget what it was. And I was the bad guy, and she gave me like a real sword to use. It was so cool. I got to keep it. It's in my room back home. Everyone who gets married off a whim in LA gets used to place. Yes! Yes, streamer. I love that. Yes. All right. Who we got today? We got like this couple, this couple, this couple. And like each couple has like 5 minutes to describe their relationship. We met so-and-so long ago. We've been dating for this long. This is how we met. These are our plans for the future, stuff like that. And from that, you place your bet. You're like, all right, that seems like a stable relationship. That one doesn't seem like a stable relationship. You know, that's how you place your bets. My friends group, I'm the weird one because I only have a dagger. Wait, because you're the only one that has a dagger, or because you only have a dagger? That's the two different ones. Two very distinct ones. Oh my god. It has your name on it? That's so freaking cool. Oh my god. Oh my god, I love them. Hey Glenn. So for our anniversary, I have an idea. Like, aren't those cool? They have their freaking names on it. Guys, where did you get them? I do not have a sword, only have a dagger. Oh, wow. Coffee cups. You have cool friends. You're 0 weapons. Streamer, your love for Five Nights at Freddy's is a weapon. Your love is a weapon. Don't be fooled. I'd be placed on a watch list in Britain. Even if you're a cosplayer, though. The machete's going into the woods. I used to balance it. I pelt open on cardboard boxes. Oh my god, that's cool. Damn, you guys are all so freaking cool. But yeah, no, I love those swords. Where did you get them from? I want one. I want a ColeHillChills blade. Are you kidding me? That's legendary. That's legend. Wait for it. Dairy. Legendary. My idea is that you propose with a sword, and then each major anniversary, you get a different piece of armor until you have a whole set. Oh my god, that's so cool. I love that. It's like, okay, so my mom's wedding ring, it's supposed to have like 3 different parts. The first part you get when I think you're engaged. The second part you get when you're married, and the third part you get after you've been together for so long. I think that's how it goes. She has the first 2. I think she can get the third one, but like it like completes the ring. I like that idea better, Genie. You just get more and more pieces of armor. That's freaking cool. Oh, knife crime. Oh, I can see that. I can see that, streamer. The legend, the ColeHillChill blade. Myth. It's only known in myths and fables, but it does exist. The ColeHillChill blade. For only $40? That's nice. That's wow. Shipping was a lot though. Yeah, I can see that. That's straight up wedding ring TLC. Yeah, it really is though. It's a good gimmick, you know? It gets people to want to like, oh, I gotta complete my ring. Maya's been here the whole time like, what? Swords? Anyone that knows me well enough to marry me would not get me a ring. You'd get me a Damascus steel knife? What is that? Is that like a really high class steel knife? The Wii U. Wait, wait, what are we talking about the Wii U for? Oh, it has stripes. Oh, cool. They're on sale right now? Don't tempt me. That's so freaking cool. Custom sword. I like the title of it is Etsy. Monogram sword, custom sword, ninja sword. Do you think it's a sword, guys? I don't know if it's a sword. I'm not completely convinced it's a sword yet. Oh, they're so nice. They're so freaking cool. Ah, that didn't scare me. There are other. I love the blue one. That's such a nice blue. I don't really wear jewelry. I'm allergic to gold. Oh, that's pretty common. I've heard coffee cups. I believe my mom might also be. I think she wears silver gold or something. Gold silver. Something of the like. I forget what it was. Well, we had a really big sidetrack. Man, so the CHC wedding industry, we will plan your weddings for you, and you get swords at the end. After you say your dues and your vows, you also get knighted. Like the priest has to have like a dual certificates. He can get people legally married and also knight people. The souvenir's a sword. Everyone gets a take home. Oh my god, you cut the cake with a sword. I love that so much. For I'm the Duke of ColeHill. Yo, you think VIP stat? Yo, if I had a ColeHillChills blade, when you get VIP status, I bring it out and I knight you on stream. You become official Duke or Knight of the ColeHillChills. Like, that'd be freaking cool. That's what they do in military weddings? Oh, white gold. I think that's what it was. Coffee cups. Do they really? That's freaking awesome. That's really cool. Oh my. Actually, I've been to a military wedding. Well, a Navy wedding. My stepbrother's in the Navy, and it was very Navy themed. Like, he was in a white cadet outfit with like the hat and everything. That part didn't happen. But maybe that's just a Canada thing or a Navy thing. But yeah. I forget what we were talking about in the game, but I should probably continue it.
What do you think this means, Nick? We're starting a wedding industry.
Nah. There were swords at my wedding. I know someone would get stabbed. Yeah, no. That is true. You'd have to sign a waiver being like, we're not responsible for anyone getting stabbed during the wedding. 99.8k points so I can do something cool. You'll get there, streamer. I believe in you, man. I accidentally stabbed myself. Yeah, there'd be a lot of stabbing. It's okay though. We'd plan ahead and we would make all the carpets red so that we wouldn't have to worry about washing them afterwards, you know? They would just blend in. It's not super clear, but it was the best pick I could find. The red points table. Oh, cool. Oh, cool. That's really neat. It's just paint. Yeah, it's just red paint. It's just red paint, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. Our wedding genie.
It means the person that holds the secret to the mystery of the Sacred Urn is our very own Miss Andrews.
Alright, let's save before we confront her with the Magatama. We gotta throw the Magatama at her. Oh, poof! Take that! She looks so calm now. She's like, oh, you think you're getting into my brain? Oh, think again. It may have worked once before, but I have a new firewall that you'll never be able to get past. And a new password. It's no longer password 123 backwards. NANI? I saw it pop up this time. Almost, Ace. Almost. If I wasn't looking at chat, that would have got me. Don't worry, coffee cups. We will find you a Canadian so you can get that citizenship. Citizenship for coffee cups. That's our goal here, guys. Sorry, streamer. Sorry. My bad, man. I tried to time it. It's like 9 times out of 10 you scared me, so I'm okay if not getting scared this time.
Miss Andrews, do you know anything about the Sacred Urn?
Do I know anything? I'm in charge of the entire treasure exhibit. The urn that was submitted before the...
She looks so different like this. Between this pose and the other pose, it's like a completely different person.
The urn was submitted before the court today. It's obviously not the same urn as before. Well, that's true. Maybe it isn't the same. It could be fake. A fake? You're the one who said it wasn't the same, so that's the most obvious explanation. Do you have any evidence that the urn was submitted at the trial was genuine?
Yeah. It says Amy. Where's the picture of the urn? Wait. Where, do we not have it anymore? Right, I mean, it says I am. I am. That has to be it, right? Also, there's like pink all over it. I don't know if that helps at all. Oh, we don't have a picture of it anymore. Okay, I guess I'll present this.
Well, Miss Andrews? See, look, it was a fake after all. Huh? I mean, your evidence is fake too, as I expected.
Oh, no, that didn't help. Any evidence that the urn was submitted at the trial was genuine? Well, the golden statue's real. Oh, the box! Maya made the box. No? Well, that didn't help me. I don't have anything else related to it. I don't know. Statue? No. Do we not have the evidence yet? Can I show a... Pearls made it wrong, no? Okay. What about Maya? You try the pick of the urn that says I am? Yeah, I tried that and nothing happened. I don't know what else could prove it. Do I have to keep looking around for evidence? I don't think we have anything then. Okay, I'm gonna load. I lost half my health just randomly guessing. Okay. Let's examine, I guess. Yeah, we know she made the box. Well, like, we've seen all this stuff already. don't think we're gonna get anything new here. You're gonna fix the sword yourself?
I promise I'll fix it so you never knew it was bent in the first place.
But please be gentle with it.
All right then. Burger. No, we read that one already. Oh, we already saw that.
Nah, nah, nah.
I don't know what else to. Wait, I'm getting married? Yeah, you didn't know, Jeannie? We show stuff to her? We gotta break her open, but I don't know how to do it. Can we take out our batteries or something? Alright. Let's go to CEO's office. Maybe. No? A hideout? I guess we can reanalyze stuff now. We shouldn't tell her about the blackmail? I think that would be helping us if we did. I was typing D&D stuff. Yeah, you and Ace are apparently getting married. Were you not part of the invite committee? The CHC is a wedding team is putting it together. To me, so I can be Canadian, unless 8-piece meets to it. Oh, it's a tape recorder.
I'll be taking his crown now, but of luck next time, gentlemen.
Ronnie used to say that a happy laugh is the lifeblood of a thief.
Well, that certainly is a happy-sounding laugh, all right.
Yes, and laughing isn't as easy as it sounds. The harder you try, the more fake it sounds. Don't test me.
Yeah, Mr. Delight really works hard at this craft, huh?
This thing looks vaguely familiar.
Oh, I know, it's a fishbowl.
Nope. He asked one of his friends from work if he could have it. It's a Space Ranger uniform. I've never seen Ronnie happier in his whole life.
Oh, man, now I want one too.
I wonder if KP Security was in charge of security at the event from the old case.
Intriguing. So he wanted that from Wendy? Oh, the police saw everything?
Really? Did they say anything?
They said it wasn't important.
Well,
Don't worry about it, Nicky boy. After all, my Ronnie is just an amateur.
amateur or not, this is cool. Knuckle Bomber, how cool is that?
Knuckle bomber. Sounds like you're giving someone a noogie.
Nick, it's a torpedo.
Books? Can I show her something? Yo, your husband was blackmailed. Can we show that to her?
Do you know about this?
Oh, is that a letter addressed to my Ronnie? Sorry, but I hate it when people poke their noses into other people's business.
It looks like Mr. Light doesn't know about it. Which means she has no idea that her husband was being blackmailed.
She just stands there. Really? You didn't hear anything we just talked about? Alright, I'm just gonna throw everything at her. She'll have to know something about something. No? Not doing anything? I wonder what kind of house he lives in.
Who knows? Maybe it's exactly like this house.
You're so funny sometimes, Icky boy. You get American citizenship too, which I realize doesn't have the same catch to it, but if I was a famous thief, I live in a great big, gorgeous mansion.
I'll be sure to tell that to your husband.
Ah, I know what that is. That's one of those key cards from Ron's company. Come to think of it, it's been a long time since I've seen one.
That's probably because Ron doesn't work there anymore.
And that's Ronnie's wallet.
He was found on KP security on the night of the murder.
Ron and I went out to dinner early that evening. I'm sure he had this wallet with him then.
So it's true then. So what do you know about this?
No, you can't show her that, Nick. The emblem is top secret. Don't you remember?
We can see the balloon behind you, Maya.
So, whoops, sorry about that. But the way she just said top secret was worth giving.
Oh, we read this one. Yes, we know about that one. I'm so happy you got your Sacred Urn back. I want that picture. I want that one. Wait. Oh, shit. It actually says Amy. Did they rebuild it? Because the one we had, it was broken. And because Pearls put it back together, it says I am. But this is the right way. And there's pink paint? Yeah, no worries. Ace, level up that D&D character.
Well, I have to thank you for that, Mr. Light, and I'm sorry.
Huh? What are you apologizing for?
Because I mistakenly blamed your husband for taking it.
Ha! I told you, didn't I? My Ronnie would never do such a thing. Okay. But how do I get a picture of that vase? Is there anything here I can examine? No. Okay. What if we go here? Is there anything we can examine?
Should I put my attorney's badge there? You know, as a replacement?
I think it's a little too small for that.
Nonsense.
What about my Magatama?
Now you're being silly. That's definitely too small.
The Magatama is bigger than the 8th Attorney badge.
A piece of cloth with a ton of fine written characters jammed onto it. Probably historic knowledge. Only mutants would know. Let's see. Here's the title in English. 108 Ways to Save Money. I'm pretty sure the number has gone up since the last time I saw it.
Well, we're always looking for new ways, you know.
Being a medium sounds like a rough way of life.
It's the folding screens of Crane's Sacred Village writings, but I can't read what it says on it.
Really? But I thought it was some kind of important spell.
Oh yeah, my mother read it and taught me to memorize it. I'll be in trouble if I ever forget it.
Looks like the Crane channeling school is teetering dangerously on the edge. They're just a bunch of old urns. Are these really treasures too?
Of course they are. This is a treasure exhibit, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I guess so. So all it takes to be a treasurer's age? No wonder nobody likes museums.
Is the judge a treasure? Yes. Yes, he is. He's the greatest treasure of all.
Wow, this is incredible. It's a tiny version of my whole village. Hey, I've got a great idea. We can make a miniature version of you, your office, Nick.
I don't know about that. The whole place is overflowing of junk. You'd die before you finish painstakingly recreating the mess.
Well, we could always clean it up first.
Shrug, true.
So you'll clean a toilet multiple times, but you won't clean the junk lying around the office? Phoenix. Phoenix. Okay, let's throw everything we have at her. Whoops. She'll say something to something. Leave no stone unturned. Oops. Oh, yeah, this picture. No? The badge. Damn it. This. Look at something. Look at something. You're a robot. Analyze it for me. I need help, Andrews. I need help. I need help. Help. Anybody help?
Detective Atme said he got hit on the back of the head with this by a thief. That was obviously a lie.
Oh, yeah.
Because it turned out that Atme was the real thief, it's still hard to believe. It looks like Adrian feels really bad about it. I'm going to take full responsibility and fix that sword myself. I know I don't look it, but I have complete confidence that I can fix it right up. I promise I'll fix it so you never knew it was bent in the first place.
I just can't get this headache to go away. Oh, those are the worst coffee cups. Absolute worst. I'm so sorry, man. Do take a Tylenol if you have any and drink lots of water.
But please be gentle with it.
The security camera was provided by Lordly Taylor Department Store. I took a close look at it on the day after the theft. The timestamp on the photo is definitely real.
Okay. Oh, we just did that one. Okay.
I thought the whole exhibit would be brightened up by something shiny and gold. That's why I went to the trouble of borrowing it from a branch family training hall.
A gold statue is totally cool in my book.
It arrived rather late, so I thought I wouldn't be able to put it on display. By the way, it looks like this statue was moved on the night of the theft. Do you know anything about that? No, it certainly wasn't me that moved it. Why is she so flustered all of a sudden? I hired Atme security before receiving the card. I suppose that was a mistake. Atme? I mean Mask to Mask. He sent a calling card to the very exhibit he was hired to guard. I wonder if it was because he knew it would be easy to steal.
Do you want me to ask my aunt to do her witchy stuff to get rid of the headache every time? Yeah! I always find I get cured pretty quickly after.
Yes, but he should have also known that he could easily become a suspect. The Treasure of Crane exhibit is my first job after last year's ordeal, and I really want it to be a success. I've got an idea. Why don't you redo the whole poster?
You could put something like, voted best treasure exhibit by Mask to Mask.
Why, Maya, that's a fantastic idea.
Okay, I don't know what else to do. We've examined everything. I don't know how to get proof that it's the wrong urn. I guess we can go to Gumshoe. Alright, Gumshoe.
Go to Gumshoe, about this right here.
Sorry, it's hard to believe with this limit. Okay. This one.
Hey, wait a minute, Maya. What's wrong? We copied that data without permission. Don't show it to him. He might get mad at us.
So, what are you whispering about? Oh, it's nothing. It's just my billfold. That's a pretty thick billfold you got there, pal. Now I really want you to show it to me.
Sorry, Gumshoe. This?
I was sure I was gonna get him, so I was careless and lost the info on the witness.
By the witness? Do you mean the guard in this photo?
Yeah, he and the detective worked together to try to catch and master Mask.
But he got away anyway, huh?
That guard. I've got a weird feeling that I've seen her around lately.
Well, who is it? It's clearly his partner in crime. You know? I need to know. I want to suck your blood. I missed the vampire demon Gant.
This isn't to prove that Ron Delight was here at the crime scene when the murder happened.
His wallet and his key card, huh? I think we need to ask Mr. Delight some more about those two things.
Yeah, but I don't think we can get to Mr. Delight.
There's proof that Ron Delight.
Oh, same thing. Same thing.
About this blackmail letter.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it too, pal. Why would Kane Bullard have been blackmailing Ron Delight anyway?
Well, Mr. Delight used to work at KB Security, right? But what was it that made him quit?
Nick, that's it. Maybe that's the same reason he's being blackmailed. Well, I'm in the middle of investigating right now. Oh, all right.
Sword.
So Detective Atme wasn't hit in the back of the head after all. That's right, because he was a real thief. He wanted it to look like he was knocked out, so he bent it on purpose. I'd stake my reputation on it.
I still think they use it to pry open the blocks.
Grr, what kind of creep would ruin an antique for that?
The thief in the photo taken by the security cameras is missing his brooch.
Yep, the thing is, there's no evidence that the photo was tampered with. It was definitely taken at 12:58 a.m.
I turned the tables at the trial today with the mystery of this missing brooch. I wonder if there's something more to this missing piece of custom jewelry.
Maybe? Oh, did I just do the same one? Oops. Oopsie whoopsies. Okay.
Remember, don't tell anyone about the emblem, okay, pal?
Does the thief ever send these out to the police?
No, always to the victims. Up until now, the victims have always come to us looking for help, though.
That's not what happened this time, you mean?
You got that right, pal. Listen up. If you guys ever get one of these calling cards, I want you to come to us right away, got me?
Yeah, sure. I still got no idea why Master would go after a broken old pot like that.
Glare.
Nah, I mean, this tasteful old family heirloom.
Good points. And why go after a worthless piece of junk like that?
Glare.
I mean, worthless in a good way. I mean, this is a first for the guy. Adrian Andrews hired at me as a security before the calling card even came.
Yo, Ken, how's it going, dude? Why the long face, buddy?
I wonder if that has anything to do with how things played out.
That's it. Dude, I don't know where to go. Can we show things to Larry? I doubt it. Okay, this one. Right, we did this already. Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad you're okay, Ken. Oops. No, nothing. Nothing, Larry, at all? Nothing at all? He's no help to us. We got all the info out of him we could. I don't know where else to go or do. This is a real head. I hope we don't have to look it up. I don't know where else to go. I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me. But you gotta have friends. Can I go to the detention center? I want to talk to him. Oh, I can. But there's nothing here. Lovely. Lovely. Just lovely. Amazing. Just woke up and I'm not watching ColeHillChills. Oh, well, good morning, Ken. I think I have every right to not be okay, however. Oh, why? What's up, Ken? I also feel those emojis after waking up. Yeah, that's very true. Coffee is not a morning cup. Oh, not a morning cup. That's so cute. Okay, I don't know where else to go or do. What about the Sacred Urn?
You must be relieved we got the Sacred Urn back, huh? You bet! But there's something a little different about it. Huh? Don't at me. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, take a look at this photo. It clearly says I am on the urn in the poster. The urn we got back says Amy, like it always used to. Oh yeah, you're right. Plus, the vase has a pink splotches on it now. I'm sure they weren't there before. Maya doesn't know, but 1 year ago when the urn was broken, the repairer accidentally turned Mystic Amy's name into I am. And that repairer was one mechanically unskilled little Pearls.
I just woke up and started watching ColeHillChills. No, that's a great Ken. That's an espresso of good feelings in life. You're welcome, Ken. You're welcome. You got to wake up and watch our stream.
I don't remember ever seeing pink splotches on it. Is it possible the urn is fake? I'm sure Pearls will find out about that once she gets back to Crane Village. Yeah, I suppose. Now that I think about it, Maya hasn't been back to Crane Village in a long time.
Can we go back to Crane Village?
So, I guess people will still go to Crane Village to do their training, right? Yep! If you want to become a spirit medium, you need to undergo severe training. So why haven't you been training lately, Maya? Well, lately I've been thinking of heading to a channeling dojo to do just that. A channeling dojo, huh? Sounds pretty serious, whatever that is. If you're gonna train, you have to be serious. Otherwise, real tragedies can happen. Is what happened last year still bothering you? That murder in her village, it happened because the power of channeling was misused. When a medium uses a Karain technique, she temporarily loses her own will. So when an especially strong spirit is summoned, the spirit medium can get taken over and even forced to commit terrible crimes. What's worse, in those cases, the spirit medium has no memory of what happened.
Right, but that's not what happened.
The murder, it wasn't your fault, Maya. You know that, don't you? I suppose not, but I guess I'm still a little shaken up, that's all.
But remind me, Maya wasn't the one who actually killed anyone, right? I don't remember that happening.
It sounds like being the Master Crane is going to be a heavy responsibility.
What do we do now? What? 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 Oh my, so I had to have that dialogue in order for anything else to happen? Oh my god. No, Mr. Wright!
Mr. Delight, did they finish your interrogation?
Yes, but please don't leave me alone anymore.
Mr. Delight, you lied to us before, didn't you?
Well, you see,
On the same night, the Sacred Urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor department store. A blackmail letter you got summoned you to KB Security to hand over some money. And then, that's where the CEO, Kane Bullard, was murdered. But, there's only one Ron Delight, am I right?
like Team Rocket James, oh my god, yes. He actually is very rich, Kin, very on the nose. If I don't think I can do a very good impression of James. Prepare for trouble and make it double.
So, the only question is, where were you that night? This time I want to hear the whole truth. Your life depends on it.
Okay. Talk to me.
Mr. Delight, do you still insist that you are mask to mask?
Isn't that what I've been saying ever since yesterday?
That was that was a quick response. Tell me about it. To be honest, it's starting to get irritating.
But listen, Mr. Delight. At the trial today, we learned the true identity of the thief, didn't we?
Oh yes, he had a maniacal laughing spree. Oh god, he's so creepy. Yes. The Joker. I guess it's true, I wasn't the one who stole that urn.
Of course not. After all, you were at KB Security at that time.
So then the person dressed up as a master mask in this photo.
It's gotta be Detective Atme.
So that night, you didn't go to Lordly Taylor, you went to KB Security, right?
Yes, I went to KB Security at the time, but the blackmail note said I should.
All right, what happened next?
Well, I used to work there, so I knew where the CEO's office was. I knocked, but there was no answer. So then I used the key card to unlock the door.
That's probably when he dropped his wallet.
Mm-hmm. When I went to the CEO's office, someone was in there.
Someone?
Oh, what? Wait, what? And then suddenly, they bashed me over the head, bam! So... Huh? So the ace detective bashed Ron over the head with the sword? But he said he was at the other place. What is happening?
Was it King Bullard that hit you?
I don't know. The person ran away while I was still stunned. When I came to my senses, the sight I saw left me speechless. The dead body of the CEO was right there in front of me. I thought I'd die myself. Anyway, I thought I should do something with the body.
So that's why you put it in the safe?
The tongue is too much. Yes, that's right. I used to be the chief of one of the security teams, so I knew how to open it.
Okay, and what did you do after that?
Well, I got out of there for starters.
I was the one who set up the security cameras in that building. So I knew how to avoid being spotted by them.
Nick, all of a sudden, Mr. Light kind of sounds like the murderer to me. Please don't say that.
Mr. Light, is it true that 1 year ago, you were forced to quit KB Security? Nah, how did you? I'm begging you, please don't tell Desi, please.
Don't worry, we haven't told anyone yet.
Phew, thank goodness. Or no, but I suppose I'll have to tell her sometime. She'll find out eventually.
Why have you been hiding it from her anyway?
Desi would despise me if she ever found out I was living a life of crime. I'm a criminal, a thief. She'd never forgive me. My marriage would be over.
No, we're not. Why did you become a thief in the first place?
Because Desi spends money like it's water. There's no job in the world that could bring me in enough money. Except being a thief. At least that's what I thought anyway.
So he became Master Mask for Desiree, huh?
So he is Master Mask?
Huh?
Can I present things to him?
The buzzer went off just once around the time Bullet was killed.
Oh, that's scary.
Do you know anything about that, Mr. Light?
Sorry, I'm afraid I don't.
Why am I not surprised by how clueless he is anymore? This list, we found it in the office of the CEO by Mr. Bullard.
Hey, this is a list of all the things Master Mask stole.
And that's the value of each item listed next to them. 100,000, 150,000. Are you sure that's the value of the stolen items?
The numbers seem a little low to me. Even on the black market, the price should be at least 3 times higher than that.
I guess he knows about this stuff because he used to be a security guard.
Or because he's actually the thief.
And that's the emergency buzzer from the CEO's office. Don't press it, it makes a terrible racket.
Hee, sorry, I just love making a lot of noise.
Or, does this buzzer have something to do with this case?
Well, at this point, I don't really know. After all, there were no prints on it or anything else for the matter.
Hey, there's an article about my debut heist. Boy, that was a tough one. Before I knew it, they were hot on my trail.
Master Mask, he must have gotten away, right?
Drippy! How's it going, dude? Game's bright. Oh, thank you, Drippy. Thank you. The hero we don't deserve, but the hero we have. Yeah, we beat the end of Superliminal in literally less than 20 minutes. So we switched to Ace Attorney. Yeah, no one mentioned it. It's Drippy, man. Drippy's got that eye. He knows. Not really. It was just like the ending was just, oh, we planned this whole thing because we wanted you to be able to see your problems from a different point of view, because when you fail over and over and over again, you know, nothing changes. So we just woke up and that was it. It wasn't even really much of a puzzle after that. But yeah, I'm glad we beat it. It was a fun game. The whole thing would have been a really good murder game. Like, really good. They should do another one, but just make it, like, scary.
It says in the article that he disappeared.
That's right. I got a sudden burst of inspiration. I hid my Master Mask costume in a nearby plastic bucket. Then I quickly changed into my security guard uniform. Pretty clever, eh?
So that's him?
Wow! Awesome! Hey, hold the phone! The guard in this photo. Is this you, Mr. Light?
That's right. Nice trick if I do say so myself. Nice and easy to figure
out. Even Pearls could see through that in a heartbeat.
This game sucks. Hey now, Drippy! You're the one who wanted to play this game again. Oh, it's updated. Oh, cool. But as you might expect, Detective Atme found the disguise. He truly deserves the title of Ace Detective.
Detective Atme found the masked man's disguise. That's an interesting.
Yes, and I heard that he brought it home with him.
So that's it. And that's when Atme got his hands on this.
Thanks to that, I got the chance to remake my costume.
That must have been really time-consuming, huh?
Yes, it took quite a while to complete. Anyway, a few days after that, I received the first of the blackmail letters.
But blackmail letters? So he is the thief? Then why did the great ace guy, whatever his name is, admit to being him? Now you're just putting words in my mouth? Don't you start with me, Drippy. You should have been here earlier when we were talking about Delta Rune. Oh, yeah! Yeah. We needed you to defend it, Drippy. Could be quicking 90s on kids, but instead he's interrogating a rich guy. I appreciate that you think I could drop 90s on kids, whatever that means. I'm assuming that means like drop 90 pounds on kids. But I think you very, very poorly overestimate my my Fortnite abilities. I suck. I can't aim in that game, and I can't build things. I just never build. I suck at Fortnite.
You got them. You got them starting when? Tell me more now.
Hey, calm down. Don't get so worked up.
Well, then tell me, you foolish foolery fool.
This blackmail letter, is this the first one you got?
No, of course not. But this is the first one that ever called me out to a specific location.
So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident?
Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Emon heist. The first letter, he said, "I know you did it."
So someone found out about your true identity, just like that.
And that's why nobody. Yeah. First of all, yes, I should play Halo with you. Secondly, nothing to do with Fortnite. And we should just play Halo because it's a good game and we should play together. Let's not make Fortnite the reason we play together, Genie. Oh my god, Drippy, I'm so freaking excited. I'm so freaking excited. I have been spoiling stuff for me. Not the story, just like game mechanics and new region Pokemon and stuff. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh my god. Have I mentioned how excited I am? Because I am so excited. I'm not a fan of most of the new regional Pokemon, but the gameplay mechanic is what I'm stoked for. Oh, it looks so good. I can't wait. I'm glad I'm playing it the day after it comes out, so everyone else gets a chance to like play it, you know? And so that then like, you know, I won't spoil anything for people. I'm super stoked.
Nah, it's not easy being a master thief, you know. I've got proof that it was you, so give it up, it went on to say. So in the end, I had to give up the treasure I went through all the trouble to steal.
Is that right? Hey, hang on a second. What do you mean by you had to give it up?
Oh, don't worry. After I put the jewel in the safe deposit box, the letter specified, someone sent me out 10,000.
No one said anything about being worried, you know.
After that, I started getting the plans in the mail.
Plans?
Heist plans? Oh, my order arrives. Oh, yeah! Physical copies. I hope they do too, Drippy. Oh, I know, right, Coco? That's one of my favorite forums. I'm really excited for that one. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I have no idea who's going to be on my team. I just know which starter Pokemon I'm choosing. So excited. Ah! It's gonna kill me. It's gonna kill me when it comes out Friday and I can't play it till Saturday. It's gonna be so hard not to open the game, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for you guys. What are these plans you're talking about?
They were instructions on how to steal a crown or painting or some other rare treasure. They showed security blind spots, escape routes, and even suggested training methods. Training methods?
So you mean that the one who planned the heist wasn't you?
No, it wasn't. I only planned the very first one. After that, I received plans from from some very kind person. Incredibly detailed plans.
It sounds like Mr. Light is thankful to the person that was blackmailing him.
Get Glenn to take your game and hide it for a day so you know where it is. No, I'm getting the digital copy, so that won't work. I could get her to hide the Switch for me. But I mean, our apartment is very tiny, so it wouldn't be too hard to find. But no, I will hold back so we can play, you guys can experience it with me on Saturday. He won't reach it. Shut. Kin, I swear.
So Ron Delight was mask to mask after all. But someone else is behind the thefts. Someone who planned them all out in detail.
All I had to do was deposit the treasure I stole into the safe deposit box. No, I work on Saturday. Oh, I'm glad we are streaming Ace Attorney now then, Coffee Cups. I wouldn't want you to miss it. All I had to do was deposit the treasure into the deposit box. Then I just waited for the cash to come in the mail.
Could you try not to look so gleeful about it? So you went after the Sacred Urn because of one of those plans? Too?
Well, see, I've never seen the urn. All I did was follow the instructions to steal what I was told to steal.
Mr. Delight, is everything you just told me the truth?
Yes, but please don't tell Desi, okay? Whoa.
Ron, before we go, there's one more thing I want to ask you.
Yes, but please don't hurt me. We're behind glass.
Mr. Kate Bullard, do you swear that it wasn't you who killed him?
Yes, of course. I could never. I am not lying. All I did was hide his body in the safe. But then I was afraid they'd discover what I did, so I turned myself in yesterday.
Why?
Well, if the judge had ruled that I was guilty of robbery, then I'd have an alibi, right?
I guess so. You're really clever, Mr. Delight. I guess I have no choice but to take Mr. Delight at his word. Mystic Maya! Hey, Pearly!
Didn't you say you were going to stream Pokemon on Saturday either way? Yes. Yes, I did. Sorry. My brain malfunctioned. Yeah, I did, Coco. Yeah, I did. Shush, okay? Shush.
I'm back. Hey, Pearls. So, what have you been up to this whole time? The Sacred Urn, Mr. Nick. I took it back to Crane Village to have it examined. And what did you find out? Well, there's no need to worry. They said it's the real urn. Phew! That's a relief. I was really worried.
I shall never shush. I know, Coco. You will be the one person who always calls me out.
But there's one small problem. Problem? These cute little pink splotches. They said that it's paint, and that they were put on the urns recently. Why are we talking about the pink splotches again? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? We've got to find out how they got there. That's the big deal. Yes, Mr. Nick. We got to find out how they got there. Okay. We'll go find out how they got there. Jeez.
Please, don't forget about me. Don't forget. How does the song go? There's lyrics that say "Don't forget about me," but I forget how it goes. That's the one. Thank you. Don't you forget about me. Okay, now, little sussy bakas, we can go all the way here and prove to Miss Andrews that it was a fake. Oh, Pearl, how nice to see you.
Hello there.
I haven't seen you around lately. What have you been up to?
Well, actually, I was having this urn examined.
I see. Trouble.
Maybe if we take another good look at this urn, we can figure out the mystery of what actually happened here.
Dada, Bibi, Baba, forget it. Dada, Bibi, Baba, forget about me. Don't you forget about me. Why is she a robot? She was introduced in an earlier game, and she was very cold and calculating, so we decided she was a robot.
Nick, let's look around one more time.
One more time, it'll be okay.
This box, there's something about it that's bothering me.
That's the box that the Sacred Urn was in.
She used to show no emotion, but then got an upgrade. Yeah, she's got a new operating system like Cole. Wait, no. When have I never not shown emotion? Please, Kin. I'm a Cancer. Like I can hide my emotions.
It looks like there's some pink paint on it. And it's definitely the same color as the stuff on the urn.
I think I know how the paint got on it now.
All right, let's investigate again, Nick.
Don't you forget about me.
It looks to me like it's been dry for several days.
There's something suspicious about this paint mark. The bottom left part of it is shaped oddly in a shocking pink. Mr. Nick, could it be that this odd shape is...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it.
Ah, that's the box the Sacred Urn was in.
It looks like donut colors. Like, take those two colors and you get a donut, you know? Like a classic donut with a hole in the middle.
If you look in here, there's a little bit of paint in the box as well.
Wow, you're right. Look, it matches.
Wood donut.
What is it, Mr. Nick?
Me too. I want a donut now, coffee cups.
This is all turning out exactly as I thought it would. I think it's all starting to become clear. We're that much closer to solving the mystery of what happened to the urn.
Paint got on it when what's her name moved it. Can I examine the stuff? Oh, we have so many things in our inventory. Oh my god. Okay. We can't examine it. We can't examine it. We can't examine it. All right. Cha-cha real smooth. Let's save one more time. And then we'll confront this robot and try to hack into her mainframe. No, I need to chuck the Makatama at her. There we go.
Take that!
Take that!
Don't you forget about me.
Yeah, we do. Found in Amizadova covered in pigment, but it's the genuine article.
Sorry to break it to you, but the urn is
Smashes the urn over her head.
Break that! Sorry to break it to you, but the urn is genuine article. Pearls went back to the Crane village and had it examined.
Is that right? That's nice, but I don't see how.
What she discovered was that the urn had been broken again.
Did you say again?
Yes, it was broken 1 year ago. And now it looks like the same thing has happened. And quite recently, too.
Recently? Are you saying that this urn was broken recently?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Why do you think it was broken recently? How do you know?
The picture.
This poster, it was made recently, right?
Poster. The poster for the exhibit. Yes, I printed this off of myself.
At the time when this photo was taken, the urn said, I am. But now, for some mysterious reason, it says Amy. When the urn was fixed, the letters were transposed.
I am. What does that even mean? I don't know anything about that. I wasn't even there when the photo for this poster was taken. I only printed it.
That was a mistake. Now, tell the truth.
Well, wait. Even if the urn was broken, I had nothing to do with it.
Huh?
Yes, that's it. It must have been one of the people at the photo shoot. They probably dropped it. I'm sure that's what really happened.
It looks like she, not giving up that last lock so easily.
Do you have any proof the urn was broken here at Lordly Taylor? Yeah, the pink. It'll be one of these. Let's try this one.
Well, Miss Andrews.
What is this supposed to mean?
There is pink paint all over this urn. Starts sparking. And there is pink paint all over the floor and walls of this basement warehouse. In other words, this urn was broken here. You can't weasel out of this one, Miss Andrews. But... Uh-oh, she's trying to make her escape.
But you can get pink paint anywhere.
Well, there's none at my office, that's for sure.
Well, there is in my room. Well, then it was you who did it.
Liar!
Anyway, the paint on the urn and the paint on the floor. There's no proof that it's the same paint. Come on. Yes, it is. It's on the box.
This box! The urn was stored in this, right?
Yes, that's right.
Well, there's pink paint on this box as well. I think you already know where I'm going with this, don't you?
Yes, more or less.
The paint on the floor has an odd shape imprinted, doesn't it?
Yes. If this box is blah, blah, we know.
You dropped the box right over there. And that is when the urn was broken.
Your name does you justice, Mr. Right. We were right, guys.
Don't you forget about me.
I'm so sorry. I was the one who broke the urn.
Boy, does this make me feel like some sort of evil school teacher.
I'm a terrible person. Not only did I break it, but I tried to hide it.
Well, that's not so hard to understand, is it, Pearly? No, not at all. I know just how she feels.
Does Maya know then? It happened about 2 weeks ago. Just after the poster photo was taken on the same day the urn arrived here. I thought I'd put it away down here for a safekeeping. I was carrying it in the box. Oh no, Bert! When I tripped on a paint can and I lost my balance. Ah! The box I was carrying crashed to the ground. I heard a terrible noise and I thought my heart was going to stop. Fearing the worst, I opened the lid of the box and that's when it happened. Why is it called the Sacred Urn? The Maya's great ancestor, the first person who was a channeler, her ashes were in the urn, so that's why it was sacred. It's always the damn paint. It's always the paint. Red paint, pink paint. It's always paint, guys. Fearing the worst, I opened the lid of the box, and that's when it happened. The broken pieces of the urn fell out of the box and landed right in the paint. The song is almost never fitting. Why do they... Right, Strippy? The only way this music is fitting is if, like, you're just starting a new chapter and you're at the office. You're like, yeah, we're doing normal everyday things. You know, this is what the usual looks like. And then stuff goes weird. This doesn't fit over, I broke it. and let out a huge scream. Ah, 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 ah.
I can totally see how that could have happened. Yeah, as clumsy as she is, I'm sure Maya understands.
This music matches the silliness of her clumsiness, though. That's fair. That's fair. That is fair, Cole. That's fair. Well, I knew it was the most important treasure in all of Karain Village, so I tried as hard as I could to fix it. Fortunately, the shards were pretty big.
And that's when the I am got changed to Amy?
I didn't know how it was originally written, but any sane person fixing it would have assumed it was Amy.
Any sane person? Really?
Oh, Pearls, you have a massive forehead. It's like all of the things on her face went down towards the first half of her face.
She said she wasn't very good at spelling.
Ken, you're so funny. Anyway, I put the urn into the storeroom and no one had seen it since then.
But there's something I don't get.
Gravity didn't treat Pearls well. Yeah, it did sound like a seal. When we first came here, I didn't see. Oops. Maya's not a robot.
When we first came here, I didn't see any paint stains.
Well, that's because it was so ugly and embarrassing. I used the golden statue to cover it.
The Amy face statue. Uh-huh. The first time that we came down here, it was on the night that the Sacred Urn was stolen. But Mr. Nick, there was no paint marks on the walls or floor of the warehouse when we were here.
Well, there's a good reason for that. On the date of the crime around noon, that golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. And I realized that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it.
I see. Now it makes perfect sense. But there's still one thing I find strange.
What is it, Pearl?
The day after the urn was stolen, we came here again. At that time, the statue had been moved and paint was clearly visible. She's right about that. Well, Miss Andrews?
What, I don't know anything about it. A Pearl and Iris mixed up? I am too, aren't I? Damn it. Okay, I'll try to distinguish them. The British. I know, she was British. I placed it there to cover the paint, so why would I move it again?
Well then, who was it? Who would have done it and why? On the day before the theft, the statue was definitely close to the door.
Guys, I'm so excited for Pokemon.
Then the next day, it was moved, but why?
Wait, did it do it? It didn't do it. Bruh. Broski, what? Why? It's there. Oh, you heard it? Oh, well, we didn't? Oh. Weird. Yeah, usually it blasts through my laptop. That's weird that I didn't hear it. Okay. As long as you guys heard it.
It looks like there's some connection between the Sacred Urn and the murder case. Murder? Well, why? Why do you think so, Nick?
The gasp.
Because that night, the real thief Ron Light was at KB Security. So then why did another master show up here? A lot of different things are pointing to one undeniable fact.
Well, that means... That's really confusing. Because if it was the ace detective who was at the KB agency who knocked what's his name over the head with the sword, how did he also get here at 1 o'clock? Because, like, obviously that's the costume that because we found out he stole it from him, like, when he first did his first heist. Because he's keeps getting jump scared. No, it's there. You were jump scared by the tap? Oh, like it turned on and went, pfft. Yeah, I get that.
Not undeniable fact.
Yeah, I heard that one. There it is.
The murder trial is starting tomorrow, but it looks like that thief is going to be making another appearance.
To be canned immediately. I am gonna save my game. Oh. Alright, let's do it. Look at those bay leaves. Bayleaf, the police Pokemon, can be normally found in courthouses.
Hey, Nick!
Oh my god, who was it who sent the TikTok of the Mr. Court? Did you just call me Mr. Court? Is that not your name? Bayleaf, shoot him. I laughed so hard. That was such a good TikTok. It was Genie, right?
What is it this time?
You don't believe how many people are here for the trial.
Well, it is a murder case.
What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door.
Next door?
Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmy's trial today.
Detective Atmy?
They say they're going to try him as Master Mask.
Already? That was fast.
Boy, I'd love to see Master Mask's trial.
I know.
By the way, where's Pearls?
Hello? Strange voice?
Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore.
I know you don't like me.
Who is this? Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh?
Yeah, ever since that incident last year.
Please don't ignore me.
Oh! Mr. Delight, good morning.
No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone.
Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec.
You don't mean you're the murderer?
No, I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Nobody likes me.
Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been helping him to help him.
Oh my god, read English, Cole.
Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick?
It's possible, but today's trial is a race against the clock.
Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always.
I'm afraid that's not an option.
Is it because the other trial? A court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. It's always a delight to see you, Judge.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
You're ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Got It. The coffee man is back. The defense is ready, Mr. Court. If I ever write, I don't know, a Phoenix Wright fan fiction or like a video game about courts or something, I am naming the judge Mr. Court. That is so funny.
Look, he's got the judge in the palm of his hand yet again.
Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what this means, Mr. Goddard. Then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. The defense is down to 5, Your Honor. God damn it. Oh, great, there's the coffee. That's why all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes! Well then, let me briefly summarize the details of this case.
Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change.
The victim is Kane Bullard, the CEO of KB Security. Tongue out Tuesday. Oh my god, it's actually Tuesday! His body was found in his safe at approximately 9 a.m. on the morning of the 13th. Unhand me, fiend. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 a.m. on the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. And that little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Goddard. Please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. 17 cups of coffee? But the first one is always the best. Mr. Goddard, your witness. Stop turning me on. Okay. Okay then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron DeLay, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, what does the defense have any objections? You just call them a little kitten. How is that? I know, right?
I remember when Mia was defending me.
Gotta be like, even the defendant calls me daddy. I can't live without my coffee, guys. Goodness me, I'm so quirky. I need coffee to like stay alive. Okay, that's better though than the people that are like, I don't drink coffee. I'm better than everyone else, you know?
I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. I put my trust in you and push as far as I can go. For all this, there's only one thing you should know. We have no objection, Your Honor. The defense will now allow Mr. Light to testify.
This is what I sound. No, it's not what you sound like, Clem. You've got guts, Trey. All right then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. You did it, didn't you? Yes. Oh wow. Okay. Good. Great. Done. What? No. That's not true. For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever.
Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making.
And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin.
Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? People who judge how others drink their coffee are people that need better hobbies. Indubitably, coffee cups, indubitably. Well, that's kind of hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home. No, then, let's hear some testimony about what happened.
That evening around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there.
It must be black coffee. Usually have a lot of toxic masculinity. Coming from my friends who would work out and only drink black coffee, yes, coffee cups. Yes, they do.
I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew that where his office was.
1 a.m., the exact time the murder took place. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Ew. Don't say that. It's bitter today, too. Just like my destiny. He is what's it called? Not a defendant, a prosecutor. He's edgy as hell. I just eat coffee beans.
You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. Daft Punk. up in here, flexing his bachelor in English.
That evening around 1 a.m., I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I've been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was.
Oh, really? Only 3 of them. ETPs. We had chocolate-covered coffee beans for around Christmas time, and they were so good. Unfortunately, they were so good that we were way too caffeinated all the time. Like, I could not sleep that week we had them. Even Glenn couldn't sleep. You know, like I couldn't sleep last night because I'm me. But Glenn falls asleep in 2 seconds.
1 a.m., huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes, that's why my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow, and my internal clock was also a bit.
1 a.m. That's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. Okay. You can't get into law school with a bachelor's in English. Is that true? I thought you could have any bachelor's degree.
It ordered you there. It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere.
Does that mean you've been gotten other blackmail letters then?
No, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or take that.
Haha, why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do?
Press harder. In Canada, I think you can. Oh, good. So I can go to law school for my theater degree. Good, good. No, he probably didn't go to law school, honestly.
It said bring $50,000.
Money, eh? A perfect motive for committing murder.
No, but wait! I never intended to pay that money anyway.
Oh, is that right?
After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of.
An important point indeed. Do you have to go to uni twice? So, to get your law degree, which is it a bachelor's or is it a master's? Yeah, you need a degree in anything else before you can get a degree in law, or like your master's in law, whatever it is. So yeah, you gotta go to school twice. Will work. They want a variety of backgrounds for lawyers. Oh, that's so I can. Guys, I'm being a lawyer. I feel like it would actually be really fun to be a lawyer. To pass your last with an English BA. Oh, your ISAT. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do.
I've never heard that phrase before. Genius. My parents wanted me to be a lawyer. There's are things that are like way easier in Argentina. One, getting a drive. I read divorce license. A driver's license. Two, becoming a lawyer. So you don't need any other degree. You can just be a lawyer. Like, go to lawyer school. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Oh. I don't know. It's yeah, it is weird. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that is. Mhm. No. I don't know. No, it's true. It's true. It doesn't make sense. Wait, my Canadian friends, is it a bachelor's degree? Like, is it or is it like, sorry, for law? When you get into law school, is it considered a master's degree? Because that makes sense. Like, to get into any master's degree, you need a bachelor in something. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. No. Any other school? No, it doesn't make a lot of sense. It doesn't. It does. Yeah, no, Canada's great for like, here, you want more student loans? No, it's, yeah. My father still thinks I'm gonna be a lawyer. Wait, what? You build yurts. Why does he think you're still gonna be a lawyer? That's like my parents still thinking I'm gonna be an engineer. Like, nah, I went to theater school.
Just what were you being blackmailed about anyway?
The blackmail letter said, if you don't want your identity revealed, correct? The two of the most wealthiest, powerful nations in the world are, yeah, they do be stupid. I mean, you know why they're wealthy. They take the money from the students. I think a law degree is considered its own type of degree, independent of what a master's is. So, like, it's its own thing? It's not a bachelor's or a master's, it's like a law degree? Interesting. I have to look that up. That's really interesting. Because when you get your master's in something, you know, you don't get a title of it. But when you get your doctorate, which is like above a master's, then you can be like a doctor of something, you know? But a lawyer, I guess, doesn't have that either. Because my father, for all intents and purposes, has never met me. Oh, that would make sense. You need to already have a bachelor's for law school. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of doctorates, one of the head acting teachers at my school, he was like one of the head facility meter persons. He had a doctorate in theater. He was Dr. So-and-so. He had a doctor's degree in theater. It was, so everyone would always make fun of, like, you're not a real doctor. The stupidest thing, man. So you have to complete a bachelor's degree and then take the ISAT. Oh, I thought the ISAT was something you take at the end of the law degree thing. Interesting. So you have to pass that test in order to get into law school. That's interesting. You have to complete at least 3 years worth. So a general degree, but it's better if you have a 4-year degree. Oh, honors. Yep. Oh, is that what honors means? I always thought honors was like what your grade was at the end of your school year. I didn't know it meant a 4-year program. I studied anthropology and studio art. Oh, I'm thinking the bar exam. Thank you, Coffee Cups. Thank you. There's also specific programs that allow you to do your BA and law degree at the same time. Oh, there's one at our school that combines the two, and it takes 6 years to get them both. That would be nice though, because it would like guarantee that like you're in, you know? You don't have to get a degree and then hope you get into law school. Like you're in it. That's good. They also had to get into law school, bar exam to qualify for practice law. Perfect. So we're confirmed that like Phoenix Wright never passed the bar exam, right? Here means you had one of the top grades. Yeah, I thought that's what it meant back home as well. Honors degrees usually require more credits, so for my school it's 16, for more general it's 20 for honors. But there were other requirements like a higher GPA and taking certain courses. Okay. Okay, yeah. So it's kind of both then? I think it's an honors program, but you can get honors on your degree if you have one of the highest grades. Like it's above a certain, like an 80% or higher. Graduating with honors in high school is just having good marks. Yeah. You have to pass the bar. Yeah, but let's face, like Coffee Cups, do you really think Phoenix passed the bar exam? He must have passed the bar. I don't know. He's pretty dumb, man. Unless it was all multiple choice and he got lucky. I don't know. The blackmail letter said if you don't want your identity to be revealed, correct? He cheated.
I'm sure it was referring to the whole mask thing. But I wasn't worried. Mr. Bullard didn't have anything on me.
He didn't.
Anyway, I don't care what anyone says about me. Just as long as Desi believes in me.
So that's why Mr. Light didn't believe he was Master Mask.
That's why I knew they were just hollow threats.
Intriguing. This country clearly has permissive standards.
You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right?
Yes, that's right.
A security chief? You! And yet, a year ago you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge. A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say?
This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject.
Life after being fired, why he was fired. I want to know why he was fired.
Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job.
Well,
the world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked.
Oh, okay, then I take it back.
Defendant, please answer the question.
I needed money.
You needed money?
Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby.
Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick?
My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company.
Come again?
KB Security has a lot of security info in all sorts of companies, and since I was security team chief,
You stole some data and sold it.
Mr. Bullard found out, and I was fired immediately.
What? I wish I had never asked that.
I was somehow able to keep it a secret. It made it seem like I had to quit on my own.
What is it, Nick? You don't look so good.
What do you mean, what is it? The judge must have also passed the bar and been promoted many times to be a judge. Yeah, he would have had to be a lawyer at some point, right? Could we have a spin-off game that's the judge as the lawyer, as being a defendant? He had hair back then. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You do well to remember that.
He sure told you.
So you admit that you stole data from the company, is that correct?
Yes, I'm sorry.
This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony.
Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. Why would you do something like that?
Well, for Desi's hobby. What else?
Wasting money, huh?
It's not a waste.
So, Miss Delight doesn't know that her husband was fired, does she? So it would seem.
Is she not in the courtroom right now?
I'm not sure what to think about the couples who keep secrets like that from each other. I can't believe it. This case hasn't gotten even Maya to think seriously about couples.
Please try to stay focused, Mr. Wright. He tore his hair out. Yeah, he must have, coffee cups.
There wasn't much to his testimony, was there? Sounds like he's been avoiding something. At least, that's what it sounds like to me. Uh-oh, I got a bad feeling about this. We better be careful. But if we don't find a way to make him spill the beans, we'll never get close to the truth. Yeah.
Okay, one of these I could press that and ask a different question about. I think it was this one.
Objection.
Oh. Tisk tisk. I'm afraid that reason isn't going to hold up anymore.
What do you mean?
The victim had no proof the defendant was masked and masked. But you were the one who stole company secrets only 1 year earlier.
But that was all over once I was fired. But it was true that the fact I stole secrets was kept under wraps. Even so, there was no reason for me to pay up now, a whole year later.
Is that really true? What is it, Nick? The fact that Ron was stealing company data. I wonder if he would have had a problem if that ever became public knowledge.
Fun fact, my grandfather was a lawyer and then a judge. Really? Oh my god, coffee cups, that's so cool. That's amazing. Being able to be like, guilty or not guilty, that's cool. Yeah, you would.
Mr. Delight, I believe you would have been in considerable trouble if your identity as a company data thief was made public.
Heck,
Mr. Wright, what are you trying to do by bullying your own client? Huh. Men are like colonies of bacteria. The more heat you apply, the faster they grow. Gross?
That's exactly right.
Well then, feel free to keep up the heat, my little lawyer amigo.
The little lawyer amigo?
Yes. Now come on. Provide some evidence to back up your assertion. Why would Mr. Delight want to keep his data stealing secret from going public? Literally the only thing I can think of is Desi. He was oh, okay, never mind.
Mr. Delight, what you just said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday.
huh? What is it?
I think you must have been scared, very scared, of having a certain person find out your secret.
Gulp.
A certain person.
Miss Desi Delight, the defendant's wife.
Oh, bye-bye. Listen to me. My Desi, she's...
Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins.
Grr, got it.
Yes, we know. It was all your wife's fault. But what do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh!
No, everything is falling neatly into place for him.
Don't talk about my Desi like that. Or you'll be sorry. You'll be super Canadian ooh sorry.
Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far.
What do you think, Nick? I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes.
Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. A tear rolls down his eye. I feel great respect for this man. A family man. And it made me understand why my own father is so dysfunctional. Wow, really? That's all it took, eh? Amazing. The motive is clear. Let's move on.
Hug!
What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. Don't word it like that.
When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there.
Well, it's clear who that is. Who's that Pokemon?
Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there dead.
Oh, no wonder his father is such an asshole. His father is an even bigger asshole. I'm glad it didn't get passed down to you, Coffee Cups. I'm very, very glad. I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said Master Mask struck him on the head from behind.
Of course. Since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie.
Coffee has that issue. Ha. No one's gonna believe a pathetic lie like that.
Well, what are you saying? I really was attacked.
We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Trey? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend.
You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Goddard. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Hold it! Who was this suspicious shadow?
If there were 1,000 of me, and even if one knew, I'd tell you, trust me.
His dodging all of your questions is not helping us win this case. Okay, then how was the victim, Mr. Bullard, at that time?
What do you mean by how was he?
Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place.
That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright?
Forget it.
Jeez, dude. Useless.
Your forehead?
Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack.
Do you remember anything about who hit you?
Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit, so I think it was a little dazed for a while.
I don't think Mr. Delight even guessed what you're asking. Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock him some sense back into him. That! Could you please clarify what you were referring to?
Why, the Master Mask costume, of course.
Wait just a moment. Master Mask?
Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Master Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security.
What?
Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this.
I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either.
Even I didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets.
I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait, that's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind.
Huh. My 6-color coffee is staring up at me coldly. 6 cups? Dude, it's been 20 minutes. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony.
Hold it!
Why were you dressed up as Master Mask?
Why? Because I'm Master Mask, of course.
Well, what are you talking about? Master Mask's trial is being held next door.
Yes, I guess so. Anyway, at the time, I thought I was being blackmailed over a Master Mask issue.
We're gonna ignore that?
So I thought I should go as him just to be safe.
Oh boy.
Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I expect.
Took a lot longer. What are you talking about? What do you mean But took a lot longer.
Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body.
What was that? Back up a second. Oh, we're done. We're so screwed.
Yes?
You were the one that hid the body in the safe?
Well, yeah.
Inconceivable. Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in their washing machine? Oh, what? The answer is simple. When they take them off. Okay. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying. Do you want me to take my shorts off?
Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's murderer?
Ah, so you're not as stupid as you look.
His metaphor this time was really obscure.
Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you?
Oh, well, yes.
Why am I the only one here out of the loop? Witness, make sure you add this to your testimony.
Yes, sir.
Try not to sneeze.
Uh-oh, looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge.
I feel like I should press on this one.
When you came to.
Yes, I was passed out in the corner of the room.
Do you know? Do you know when your assailant made their escape and to where?
I'm afraid I don't really remember.
Huh?
Once they hit me, I lost all track of what was going on. I think that's when they made their escape.
Ah, that's certainly a convenient story for you, isn't it? It certainly is, isn't it, Mr. Wright? It almost sounds practiced.
I don't know what you're telling me. Why do you hide the body in the safe anyway?
Well, because it wouldn't fit in a drawer.
Oh my god.
That's not exactly what I meant.
When I saw the corpse, I kind of lost it. I thought, if they find this corpse, they'll think I did it.
I think you had a simpler reason than that. It's because you killed him. That's why you spent 10 minutes hiding the body. That certainly makes more sense.
Hold on. 10 minutes? What is it, Nick? I just had a thought. Under those circumstances, would you normally try to hide the body? And spend 10 whole minutes to do it?
Under those circumstances? What circumstances?
Oh! Hey, Nick, if you think his behavior was so strange, why don't you present some evidence that would show just what those circumstances were? And that's it. I'll take a look at the court record and present some evidence.
This one. Let me save quickly though. Salve. Present the alarm system? Yeah.
Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record?
And what might this be?
The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02.
What?
If Mr. Rundlight truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as the buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been heading his way.
Objection.
Huh. Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building. He was head chief.
Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
But, as it turns out, the guard never came.
That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend. It wasn't anywhere in the vicinity. Was not something Mr. Delight could have known.
Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. This is a lot of objections.
This buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is.
Conscious? What do you mean by that?
Objection! Objection!
Nicely timed, Drippy. Fine. Let's hear your theory.
Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes.
Unconscious? So he fainted.
That's why Mr. Delight didn't know what the buzzers had sounded, and that's why he thought he had time to hide the body.
So what are you trying to say?
Mr. Delight was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and pressed that buzzer.
Order in the court, Mr. Wright. This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed Kane Bullard.
Then who pressed the buzzer?
It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push the button.
Knock!
So Kane Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright?
I need to prove that real crime was there at the scene. Real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't Kane Bullard?
Can we? Where's the autopsy report? Cerebral hemorrhaging. There's no way he held on long enough to hit the button after that. But let me save just in case. I can prove it, all right.
The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. And this piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer.
Well, what do you think, Mr. Goddard? Huh, I can hear it, the sound of a buzzer. Huh? It's going off inside your head at this very moment. The emergency buzzer of your heart.
Is it really? Maybe just a little.
Mr. Wright, you need to think more What?
Guess there goes your chance of becoming an ace detective. Come on, listen more carefully. Maybe the truth will be elegantly revealed. Creepy, you sound like Detective Atme.
Well, then what else? What other proof do we have? It wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. Okay. The buzzer went off at 1:02. Time of death, 1 a.m. Buzzer going off, 1:02. Has to be that.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's not the right one?
Well then, I don't know. Oh my god, they just... Okay, Glenn and I ordered vitamins, like, how long ago? 2 weeks ago? And they just emailed us telling us, like, oh, they're ready or something. Oh. Glenn's ready to fight someone. Oh, there are no fingerprints on it? There we go.
I believe this is a piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for.
The emergency buzzer. Is there some kind of clue on it? Yes.
Absolutely not.
Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth.
The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue.
No, I'm the one who's clueless. No, you were always clueless, Judge.
This button has no fingerprints on it.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
If Mr. Bullet had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind.
Oh, he spit out his coffee.
Objection!
Run to light. Obviously, wipe them off. I'm trying to make banana cream candies, and I might. Oh wait, banana cream candies? Oh, what are they?
Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment.
He touched that button. I know he did.
The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints?
Oh! Order! It would seem I've been forced to eat crow. What?
I wonder what blend number crow flavored coffee is.
Is eat crow? Is that a phrase? However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with that awkward silence all of a sudden? Huh. It looks like you're fresh out of parlor tricks.
They're on to you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullet at around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place. The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed. Security was supposed to respond,
Cream cheese, butter, powdered sugar, and banana flavoring. Ooh. Eat crow is a saying? Oh, I've never heard it before. Those sound really good, coffee cups. Do send pictures when you're done with them. I can't believe the coffee cup just slides. I know, right? I imagine someone's there like, okay, ready? Shh, slide it, go, go, go. Like he has a trained assistant just to slide him coffee. Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say.
Very well then.
Oh no, oh, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? To find out what it did, to call the security guard. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, whoops.
The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running.
He's got an assistant whose job is just to make him 17. Oh, absolutely. 100% ace.
And that was exactly what he wanted.
Do you mean to say the killer called the guards on purpose?
Yes.
The dream life.
Yes, although as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time.
Huh, what a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it really does, Ace. Really does.
Now, when the buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Kane Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron DeLight, who was out cold. And the 3rd person, the real killer.
Hypothetically, yes.
Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron DeLight. And if any security guards came running at that time, they would think that I was a murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron DeLight from the murder.
What? He was like, no. Wait, no, I'm smug. No, he might be right. Order. He literally took coffee to have a spit take. Like, oh my god. It would seem I've been made to eat my words once again.
Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee.
Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Or wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask, so...
Nick, you mean the real killer is... We're gonna drag that person in here right now. But who is it? I don't have any solid proof yet, but I think about it. The killer knew Mr. Light's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to the KV security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Kane Bullard.
Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron DeLight for the murder?
Take that! Detective Luke at me. He's the only one who could have done it.
Ace Detective. Luke at me. You mean Master Mask did it?
Your Honor, the person being tried in court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Kane Bullard.
Why is the killer always just standing 2 steps away? I know, right? Like, why do they not just flee the country? You committed murder. Don't go to court so smugly. You think you're gonna get away with it? Oh, order, Mr. Wright, explain yourself.
Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime?
They're not even close. Murder is more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime punishment to a capital... It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment.
Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke at me confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom.
Of course. A famous detective was a mask, as well as Master Mask.
Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along.
To be found guilty.
Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Master Mask was Luke Atmey's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi.
A guilty verdict as an alibi. But then why would he want Ron to be found guilty of murder? Yeah, but let me rephrase the question. Why would they want him to discover Ron dressed as Master Mask? Like, if he wants to prove he's Master Mask, why would he be like, oh, the guards better hurry up and find him here dressed as Master Mask, you know? That would mean there'd be 2 Master Masks out there. I don't know, there's a big hole in that plan. You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Atmey's verdict. It was pretty simple trial after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof of the detective who was the one who committed the murder. Mr. Luke Atmey's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. I was just thinking that same thing. There's 2 judges? Do we get to see them duel it out? Is one, like, evil judge? If we were to intrude and fail to prove adequate proof of this true crime. He's just running really quickly in between the 2 courtrooms. It's just the one judge. Yeah, that's why he's always confused and never knows what's happening. He's running between multiple courtrooms, guys. Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal.
Am I really sure about this?
A bet's only good when your life's at the ante.
Mr. Wright, I believe in you.
Mr. Delight!
Mr. Delight!
So, please. I'm begging you.
Yeah, oh my god, it's like Nurse Joy. The other judge is his cousin. He has so many siblings that all look identical.
Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this?
Fix!
Huh? What was that?
Go straight! Phoenix! Fear! Client! Take the path! Trust!
That voice! It sounds like... Mia! Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess.
Huh. So that's your answer, huh? Very well! I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Luke at me to the stand.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh my god, it's the other courtroom?
Well, Sir Detective Amy? I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Amy, you were the one who...
Ah! Oh, I don't like him. Oh, who is this? Oh, wow. Oh, oh wow. Ah! Oh, God. No. Holy hell. Oh. Jesus Christ. I despise that so much. Ew, why is he blonde? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Oh, I hate it. Jesus Christ. Wow. I was happy believing there were like just multiple of our judges. I didn't need to see this man. Oh, we got really lucky always having our judge. Oh my, I need to take a picture of this. Oh my, that is disgusting. Ew. I don't like him. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant Luke at me. Wait a second!
Wait! Don't hand down your verdict yet, please!
Very well, Sir Lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom.
The mayor from Zootopia? I forget who the mayor of Zootopia is. Oh, ew! That's even worse! Stop it! Who's this hoser? He's Canadian! He's Canadian! Who's this hoser, eh? Yo, dude, who's this hoser, eh?
My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke at me.
$20 says he's from Toronto and owns a Canadian Sucks.
Accusation? You accused Master Mask.
That man is not Master Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer.
What? The Canadian Holy hell. Wow. Just wow. I'm never getting over that. There's a Canadian judge next door. Oh my god. Well, that's gonna be it for stream today, guys. I'm really glad you guys stuck around to see that moment with me. Looks like Doofenspirt's wannabe cousin. Yeah, absolutely. You're so right, Ace. I'm dead. Oh my god. I hope you'll have a great day, everyone. We'll be there won't be stream on Thursday. We will be playing Gartic Phone on Discord. I hope to see you guys all there. It's gonna be real fun. It's gonna be a blast. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for stream. Bye bye.